How do you keep drive to get published in the wake of failure? So this is a very good question. This will be important for a lot of you. For me, the key element is to not be writing because you want a career. It is to be writing because you love writing, and you would be doing this anyway. And then your success is not tied to whether you become one of the 15. Your success is tied to whether you are satisfied with your writing. And if you, either through luck or providence, manage to get into the spot where you can make a living at your writing, great. And I know that's what you want to try to do. And indeed, it's not like I didn't work toward that during those years. I wrote more than I probably would have if I hadn't been shooting for that. But at the end of the day, what kept me going was knowing that I would be writing stories anyway. I would be writing books. And if I'm not one of the lucky ones who can make a living from that, it's still the thing that I love. It's still a hobby. It's still, I'm part of the community. And I decided that, you know, if I died at age, let's say 110, and I had written 100 unpublished novels, that I had to be okay with that, and that was still a bigger success in life than if I had just stopped writing and doing the thing I love. That's why I talk about this idea of, we're going to pretend that everyone wants to be a professional writer, and I want you to pretend that for this class. But you should have in the back of your mind the understanding that, you know, if you were going to become an attorney, and you went to law school and they said, of the people in this class who graduate with honors, work for 10 years, and are among the best, only 10% of those will actually make a living at this job, you might then reconsider law school, right? If you were in an engineering class and they said, sorry, there's only about 10% of you are going to make it. That's counting the ones who actually do all the work and are good at it. Only 10% of you will make it. Because 10% of the people who get into the small class, everyone who gets into my small class is good enough to go pro in just a skill-wise, right? And why don't they go pro? Whims of the market, right? Like, this is entertainment. You could be making, like, if you're a musician and you are doing the best Mongolian throat singing that can be done, and there's like room for one band, The Who do that, and you just, like, I had a friend in college who was a pianist, and he was really good. He was somewhere in the top 10 pianists in the state during his years, but there were jobs for 3 of them, right? And he went and became a computer programmer, right? If you know that going in, that those chances are what they are, and you're okay with saying, you know what, I still love this. I'm still going to give it a try. Maybe I'll be one of the 10. Maybe it'll just be something that I love my entire life, and I don't become one of the 10, or one of the 1 out of the 10%. But do understand that there are others among that group who have success who are not full-time writers. There are people who release a novel and then have another job, or release a couple of novels. There are people who self-publish a sequence of novels and find a small fan base of several hundred people who really like their books. It's a niche audience. They're writing something that only a small niche likes, but those people love it. They have an audience. You still have to support yourself some other way because that's not enough to make a living on, but that's still success depending on how you consider it. Like, sometimes people don't make it just because they don't end up having the opportunities, right? They don't, unfortunately, networking is a thing in basically all careers. And that's tough to tell a group of probably introverts who do not want to go network. I will tell you, if you want to see something very uncomfortable, go back to 20 years ago when Dave said, Brandon, you need to go network. Go to the conventions and hang out in the bars. And I'm like, I have never been in a bar. He's like, well, guess what? He meant the hotel bars, which are a little different thing. But so there I was 20 years ago with a Sprite sitting at a hotel bar at a science fiction convention. I had no idea what I was doing. Networking is hard. And sometimes really great writers do not make it because they just don't have the networking opportunities. It's not like this is an old boys club. That's not how publishing is anymore. Maybe used to be, but it really isn't. They all are just looking, all the editors are looking for people to publish, but it just might not be. It might be that you have special holdbacks that make it hard for you. If you're dyslexic, it's harder to write books. Dave Pilkey's dyslexic, and he is one of the best-selling writers right now. He does the Dogman books and the Captain Underpants books. But, you know, that might hold you back. Your grammar, because of dyslexia, just might hold back your writing for a while, and you might have to figure out how to get around that. There are lots of reasons why someone who's very good at writing could end up not being successful as a full-time writer, and you have to be okay with understanding that that might be you. And my mother is an accountant. She always told me, have a good backup plan. I would counsel you to listen to her, because having a good backup plan is a great idea if you're going to try to be a writer. You can do it. It's totally within your grasp, but not all of you can do it. And that's the sad truth about going into entertainment, right? There are very few slots for people to make a full-time living compared to most jobs. That's just how it is. So I would say love the writing and then try your best to make a career out of it. But if you can't understand, that doesn't make you a failure. That just makes you, you know, the whims of fate have not gone your direction. Maybe they will someday. A lot of people get published in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And you may want to find something else to do in the meantime that you are also passionate about.